mandates.
So, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a couple of weeks ago we had you on, and I asked you about some of the conspiracy theories they've accused you of still holding. You believe that Sandy Hook actually happened and that Adam Lanza was the gunman, that 9/11 was an attack carried out by al-Qaeda. I've been telling people that I've talked to you and I find you reasonable and interesting and not crazy, and they keep coming back. No. And one thing they keep coming back at, and I would love for you to address, what's this whole thing about the lasers and Jewish people? I don't, there's so much fake news out there. Would you address whatever the heck that's all about, please?
Sure. I actually have no idea because I've never said that phrase or typed it, Jewish space lasers. But this is a story that some leftist journalist, really he's an activist, wrote a hit piece on me and entitled it Jewish Space Lasers. And so, you know, the left-wing media, they just run the same lies over and over again, and they call me an anti-Semite and say that I've said something like Jewish space lasers, and I never did. And they even put my tweet, or it was a Facebook post from a long time ago, in their article, and it shows in that Facebook post that I never even said Jewish space lasers. So it's, once again, it's just the nonstop radical left-wing media doing what they've done. We've seen it the last 4 years with President Trump, and it's their playbook. And this is what they do to people like me that refuse to back down.
A few weeks ago, I also heard you say that as a believer in God, that you let all know. And I think you said something about not being a lukewarm Christian. And I'm curious if you've been able to employ your faith on Capitol Hill. How has it entered the conversation? Have you had opportunities to do so?
Well, you know, it seems I'm actually able to do it nearly every day because I truly believe ever since I was sworn in on January 3rd, all I've seen come out of the Democrats is a true attack on God's creation. And in Genesis, in the Bible, it tells us that God created us male and female. In his image, he created us. Well, on January 4th, in the rules that the Democrats put forward, they literally erased gender pronouns and family names. And that was a direct attack on God's creation. And then we're seeing it over and over again in all of these bills and these agenda items that the Democrats are pushing through. It's a constant attack on gender. And then now we're seeing it's a constant attack on children, their core identity. They're basically trying to brainwash children in every single way to not understand how God made them. And, you know, there are children that go through identity crises, but the numbers show and statistics show that most of the time in many of these cases, once children finish going through puberty and grow up, they really are comfortable with who they are, either a male or a female. And so I keep reminding every time I can on a floor speech, I remind Democrats and everyone that's listening that this is God's creation, that we are created male and female, and you can't change it. No matter how many times you try, you can't change it.
You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I happen to know that there are a growing number of liberals who are very uncomfortable with the gender conversation that's happening in America. You might have more support out there than may seem obvious on that issue and many others. To be continued, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, to be continued.